Evening and welcome everyone to another episode of Section 305, the sports show. I'm Raul Pagan with my colleagues Anthony Aguirre and Nick Dupont. Nick, where are you right now? Are you kidding me?
I'm sorry, bro. Well, I'm finishing up a pump right now in the gym right now for the Lakers.
You've
I'm in their
got
facility
to
today.
be.
Hold on, let me.
Nick signed a two-way late in the season, even though it's not legal.
Sorry,
First,
sorry.
first Pittsburgh for the draft, and now LA.
Well, to be fair, I wasn't. I mean, come on now. I have to
Little,
travel a little bit, man. Come on, everyone has to travel.
you should actually follow Houston since that's their next game. Why are you still at the arena?
Well, to be fair, I've been in LA traveling for the past 5 days. Well, yeah, past like 6 days now since I'm still here.
Nice.
So I've been learning about the culture. I've been really high on the Lakers, so I really wanted to go here. I really wanted to see what it was about. The fans and the atmosphere has been fantastic over here. I mean, I'm in LeBron's locker room right now. Like he's right over there, so I'm pretty happy about it.
What about all the celebrities that were at the game yesterday?
It was fun. It was cool to see, man. I'm not gonna lie, it was really cool to see. Well, I hope to see more. I mean, if I don't hope to see more because they're gonna win in Game 6. So in Game 7 won't be a Game 7.
Really? So you think that the Rockets cannot do what the Celtics almost did against the Heat in 2023?
Listen, Raul. Listen. And, I was gonna save this for later in the topic, but I kind of have to do this now. LeBron actually got me a gift since I was here.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go. You've got to be kidding me. Even after yesterday's loss?
Ah,
Oh my God, Anthony. I'm literally gonna apologize to you for every show that I've called you a bandwagoner. Like
Mhm.
basically supporting the Hornets, also supporting
Mhm.
the Magic, who are
Mhm.
actually on a verge to making it to the next round, and
Mhm.
disappointing the team that I've been
Mhm.
basically giving a lot of hype in the past few years. So
Yeah, and rightfully so.
if that happens, kudos for you, Anthony. But
Mhm.
this is now way out of line. Way
Listen,
out of
man.
line.
When my goat is playing right now, and I'm saying he's my goat at least. I'm not trying to discredit anybody else's goat. I'm saying he's my goat of the NBA. When his
We're
locker
not,
room's right
Nick.
there,
We're
and
not
this
gonna have
man
this conversation
and
right
this
now because
man
it's gonna
gives you a
escalate.
Lakers shirt to wear, I'm
Nicholas,
gonna wear it. Let's go Lakers.
Nicholas, we're not gonna because if not, Anthony's gonna go crazy trying to basically be a referee between us. We're not
Mhm.
gonna go with this. We already know who this goat is, and it's called MJ. Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, all the MJs in the world are the goats in every single type of industry or professionalism. So this 3-minute intro is gonna be cut short since we're still gonna be talking about this topic. All right.
Wait, before we get there, Nick, you got a message before we go crazy?
Oh, I do. And listen, being in LA, I'll tell
Can,
you right now,
can
I found some
producer
good
cut him
food.
off? Can producer cut him off?
No.
I mean, I listen. He could cut me off right now, but I don't. I hope he doesn't. But being in LA, I'm not gonna lie. I've missed my hometown food because there's been a lot of great food out here, and I've been really craving that something from home. So, what was the last time you had really good food? Let me ask you that. When was the last time you had really good food? Because I could
Last
say I had it recently.
last episode, when you're actually the one that convinced me, I already had my dinner set, and all of a sudden, you basically gave a big promotion to an amazing restaurant called.
A Metropol Restaurant. Come on now.
There you
Now you know
go.
what's up.
There you
Now you
go.
know what's up. Come on. So Metropol, I miss it. Being out here in LA, I miss my Puerto Rican and Cuban cuisine. We're talking buttery mofongo, crispy fried pork, juicy stuffed chicken, congri rice, fall off the bone ribs, the whole lineup. I'm missing it. I know that everyone else right now should go and get it since I'm out here in LA. Please go get it for me. Metropol Restaurant, we love you. Get that flavor.
Anthony, we
And
can have our next meeting this weekend. Watch the rest of the NBA playoff games.
Oh, I'll be here in LA watching the games. Don't worry. I'll be on Zoom with you guys.
hey,
I say,
Dolphin Mall, people, Dolphin
I,
Mall.
I,
Don't forget where it's at.
um,
Dolphin Mall, hot
Nick,
spot.
Nick, I don't know you heard me well. I invited Anthony. Right now, I need a week off from you. All right. After this episode, I'll see you next week. I invited Anthony for our
Chill.
next
Chill.
Oh
production meeting. For our
boy.
next production meeting. All right, guys. Let's go
Let's get
then to
into it.
our first topic. Before we talk about Nick's new team,
Whoa. They're
let's,
my team for the playoffs.
the what?
They're my team for the playoffs. Let's get that right. I'm still a Heat fan. I'm still a Heat fan, die hard, but they're my team for the playoffs.
Hopefully. All right, guys. So let's start with our first topic of the NBA playoffs. First of all, Thunders dominate the Phoenix Suns. Kudos for them. They're going past the next round. And then the San Antonio Spurs. Remember what I talked about, Nick? You gave Portland a lot of hopes on
Oh,
making it
I did.
next round. And I said they can win one without Wemby. Wemby returned. They dominated game 4 and then sealed the deal in game 5. I just wanted production to put that because basically they proved me how right I was.
Oh,
How,
thanks. Yeah,
how,
because it's not like
how,
I said that if Wemby wasn't playing, they would win. You
and
know.
I said that they can steal at least one game without Wemby, and that's exactly what they did. Wemby came back in game 4. They
Fair enough.
dominated, and then game 5 sealed the deal. I just wanted production basically to put that. And then
Appreciate
also, and then since we're talking about the Lakers, we'll get into that. But first, we're going to start off with the Detroit Pistons, the number 1 seed that is actually surprised in a bad way. But now, at least they force a game 6 after beating the Orlando Magic 116-109. Now, Anthony, the floor is yours because this has been a team that you've actually been supporting a lot, even though it's another Florida team.
Yep.
Also, the Hornets. The Hornets are going through a good direction for next season.
Yep.
They lost to that same team that you also basically being talked about. And kudos to you because they're actually one game away from upsetting the number 1 seed.
Yep.
Can the Magic prevent game 7? Because if they go to game 7, things could get cloudy.
No, 1,000%. If it's game 7, that's the worst case scenario because you, at that point, like it's everything's even. But I think they'll prevent a game 7. I mean, you saw how they started game 5. It was like they had 5 fouls called to them in the first 3 minutes of the first quarter.
Yeah.
And most of them were BS in my opinion. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I think they'll prevent the game 7. That was game 5 was the first time Jalen Duran looked like he was actually playing. Because in the first other games of the series, he was a non-factor. Cade was doing good, but he had a lot of turnover issues. So that just speaks more on the Magic's defense than it does on Cade. And everyone else was not essentially a big factor. Tobias Harris will give you some points. Duncan will give you a few threes here and there, but they weren't as impactful unlike game 5 where they actually were impactful. But I think the Magic will close it out in 6. I mean, you let one slip away, which is a lot of fouls that could have gone either way. But I think they'll close it out in 6. I mean, they got even without Franz, I think they can survive one more game. I mean, next if they go without Franz the next series, then I have a lot of questions about their playoff run. But I think they can. I think they'll pull through with this one. The game 6. I think it's over in game 6.
Nick?
I definitely think I definitely agree with Anthony for the most part, but I will say one thing that you did mention: not having Franz Wagner is going to be a big issue for the Orlando Magic. I think that the impact that he has on the floor and what he contributes to his team really he dictates the game himself. I don't want to say like him entirely by himself, but he is a huge factor in dictating the game because he can break down the depth that Detroit does not have. Clearly, if Cade Cunningham's not putting up 45 points a game, it's simple: Detroit's not going to win. If Cade Cunningham's not contributing, it's simple. Detroit's not going to win because they don't have pure shot creators. Yeah, you have Tobias Harris and, like you said, Duncan Robinson every now and then will get you a couple threes. But it's pretty simple, man. Like, Detroit can push for game 7 right now. If Franz Wagner does not play, I think Detroit has this in the bag, to be honest.
So I think I'm going to have to play devil's advocate over here. I think Detroit should win game 6 and force a game 7. They will be the first number 1 seed team to be upsetted since the 2023 series between the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks. They also have been prone to injuries. We got to take that in consideration. But some of the facts that you guys said, which is reasonable, Cade Cunningham mostly has been doing everything after coming from that injury, trying to carry the team.
Yep.
I think this was like the first game that they won that role players contributed. And I feel like if they continue with this momentum, like Tobias Harris, Duncan Robinson, he needs to be shooting lights out in the 3-point line. At the same time, Jalen Duran, he's got to go back to his all-star mode. Like what we witnessed in the regular season, I feel like a coach like JB Bickerstaff has them right now with the momentum after this game. and putting a little bit more pressure on Orlando. I will say this: Orlando at their home court, they look like a different team. So it's also something that we gotta look at from Detroit, how mentally they're getting prepared for Game 6. But Detroit has been a team the most consistent, the most balanced, ranked offensive and defensively. I know playoff scenarios are completely different, but I feel like right now the bench from the Orlando Magic is a big factor and reason why right now they have a 3-2 lead. The Pistons bench has disappeared, and I feel like they got a little bit more depth than them. So that's why for me it's been surprising, even though I've always say don't underestimate Orlando Magic because they actually been in a disappointing regular season team. But in the playoffs, we've seen them against the Cleveland Cavaliers force them to a Game 7.
Yep.
We've seen them against teams that they actually put a lot of pressure on them. So I would actually like to agree with both of you that they can actually finish it at home. I just can't see the Pistons after what we witnessed in the first series against the Knicks, which they could have won in the last postseason, all of a sudden having basically the most consistent regular season throughout compared to most of the West, obviously, and the East, them finishing number 1. And I've talked about this at the end just before I give it to you guys again. When Kate Cunningham went down, I said they still got the roster, they still got the talent. Jamie Bickerstaff knows how to find ways to win without his superstar because it's not the first time that he's missed a couple of weeks. And so that's exactly what they did. They faced actually contender teams. They faced teams that were trying to make a push to the playoffs, and they end up winning without him. So this is not the same scenario as the Lakers and Rockets that we're going to get into that. They're down 3-1. I know they're the number 1 seed, and it's very hard to see those type of situations happening with the best in any conference representing. But I feel like the Pistons right now, if the role players help out Kate Cunningham, they can force a Game 7 and then come back from a 1-3 deficit lead.
Nick, you want to throw something first before I go?
I mean, for me, it's this series now. It's just Cade Cunningham versus Paolo Banchero because Desmond Bane is supposed to be part of this picture, and Desmond Bane has been struggling for the most part shooting from the interior, but from 3-point line he's shooting over 40%, which is fantastic. But you still need that guy that you've traded a lot to get to be averaging at least 20 points a game. He's averaging 18 right now. I know 18 doesn't seem that far off from 20, but those points do matter in my opinion, and also just over his overall production. Again, with Franz Wagner out too, there's no excuses for him to really be stepping up for Orlando. And I agree with what you said though about the depth for Detroit, Raul, that they really do need to step up as well because this cannot be a consistent thing for Detroit where Cade Cunningham has to average 40 plus points a game and like 5 rebounds and 10 assists just for them to succeed and move on to the next round. So
literally the bench has disappeared. Like, it's not the same bench that we've seen throughout the season, especially when Cade Cunningham went down, especially when some of their starters have been down and then they've stepped up to produce, even if they're in the starting lineup or are still coming off the bench. Like, literally, this has been a whole different scenario from Detroit. And that's exactly mostly what has affected them throughout this season throughout this series against Orlando, when Orlando's bench has actually produced in some moments.
Yeah, I mean, I just think they have better shot creators and just better players in general on their bench. I know that Detroit's bench is pretty experienced, and so is Orlando's at this point. But again, just the overall game of these guys, I would give Orlando the bench credit. Is just no Franz Wagner, man. I'm sorry, like that's a very big piece for me. That's a very, very big piece for me to have, and that. And if you don't have that, I don't see Orlando going anywhere, to be honest.
And then, sorry.
Yeah, Franz is a big piece. I'm not going to discredit that, but they've dealt with him without the season for most of it. So this is nothing new to them, but I do understand where Nick comes with that. But my thing when it comes to Detroit, and you can say the same for Orlando, but again, different pathway in terms of how they rebuild and everything. But Detroit's experience in the playoffs is not as good compared to Orlando's with the
That's
current.
true. That's true.
Because Detroit got knocked out in 6 to the Knicks, and granted that was a series that we all thought could be an upset. So I'm not gonna go too crazy on that. But Orlando forced a Cleveland Cavaliers team who had championship aspirations to a game 7, nearly on the brink of elimination. So my thing with Detroit, okay, Jalen Duren has been a shell of himself for most of the series. I
Oh no.
am I hot right now?
the
Well,
the hot take bells alarming.
I-
It's
I-
just
Let's
now,
take
man.
those alarm.
all right, so I'm admit it. It's my building. Sadly, I'm not evacuating. We're in the middle of a show, so
Yeah.
put out the fire.
Hot take incoming.
Later.
Hot take incoming. Hot take
That's not
incoming.
hot taking. That's Anthony right now. So
Listen. Jalen Duren has been a shell of himself. Isaiah Stewart is causing more fights than he is points, and Jenkins, like Raul, you talked about Jenkins once. He's been
Jenkins.
terrible. He's been terrible in this series as a backup.
Bad.
So
I agree.
as you mentioned, and again, this bench has not been living up to their standards. And I understand JB Bickerstaff is a great coach, and he should get his praises. He deserves his flowers. Never taking anything away from him. But I just don't think this roster has what it takes to really force a game 7, in my opinion. I mean, if you're gonna put the Pistons at the line, that meant 35 total times. Like come on now. I think those first few minutes in the first quarter were a bit fluky. So I think Magic will come out with a better start and they'll close the series out.
So those are good takes from you, Anthony, and it is what it is. Like the Pistons literally gotta step up. Mostly, Kate Cunningham is balling like an MVP.
Yeah, Kate's never
especially when he's coming back from a scary injury that could have caused him to at least miss the first round of the series. And I still gave Detroit the notch that they could win it, even though if they face teams like Orlando or Miami, even Charlotte, they could actually upset them. Just something similar to when, remember last decade, if I'm not mistaken, it was 2012 when the Bulls finished number 1, Rose gets injured, and then the Sixers win the series, being the 8th seed. Something similar like that I was basically seeing if Kate Cunningham was not going to be available for this series. And we already saw the outcome between the Bulls and the Sixers. The Sixers won 4-2.
Yep.
But now with Cunningham being in the roster, one would think that, all right, so this team, they got that expectations to, let's just say, maximum go all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, minimum lose in the semifinals. But now to be witnessing this, like no production from the bench, role players up and down. It's a solo island for Kate Cunningham. This has not been the Pistons team that we've literally witnessed this regular season. And that is scary, because if we're seeing this team in the first round against Orlando, which I'm not going to disrespect the Magic disappointed the regular season. Now they're playing like the team that we expected them to be, like in the top 3 seeds, not have to go to the play-in and finish in the 8th seed. That's why I was agreeing with you, Anthony. I don't see them as contenders, but I see them as a threat that they can go as far as a semi-Eastern Conference Finals. And right now, they're proving us that. And so I would like to give them the edge in Game 6 because they deserve it. And when they're at home, they look like a different team. They got the fans with them. They get hype. They play impactful both ends of the court. But Franz Wagner right now, not being in the paint for them, both ways, production. Detroit's going to be attacking there. And that's going to leave Wendell Carter Jr. vulnerable. He's going to...
Have your attention, please. The previous alarm was a non-emergency.
Okay. These people are really testing us today. No, just don't worry about time. You get extra time. Don't worry about
it. If it's not Anthony, it's you. What is this? I mean, bro, I feel like I'm being set up right now.
Hey, with me, it's reasonable. That right there is just straight up crazy.
Thank you. I was still not going to evacuate, guys. All right, just to wrap it up.
You're good, bro. You're good. Just go ahead.
Just to wrap it up, I feel like that's going to leave Wendell Carter Jr. vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And put him in foul troubles. something that basically is gonna affect the Magic because we know how valuable he is. I
It did
know.
affect them in this previous game.
Yeah, I mean, I know they got Bitadze, but Bitadze is more offensive player and a rebounder, not a damn defensive player. So that's why I'm actually, if they have Mo Wagner healthy, maybe we can actually take that in consideration because Mo Wagner actually produces, he produces inside the paint. So I know that that's going to be Detroit's game plan. Attack the paint, try to get Wendell Carter Jr. in foul troubles. But at the end of the day, it's not about them depending solo on that. Their bench has also got to score. They've mid-range, perimeter, three-point line, however it gets it done. Cade Cunningham cannot be in a solo island the rest of the series because the question says, just end it, can the Magic prevent a Game 7? I feel like the Pistons are going to win, but that doesn't mean that I'm saying Detroit could win it all. Orlando can go back to Detroit. They already proven they can win in the Pistons territory. I'm just saying that I feel like with Franz Wagner being out and with some of the points that I just gave, I feel like Detroit right now has the Magic on their walls with a lot of pressure since they are at their home territory, and a bad night can basically change the momentum of the whole series. I put Detroit to win it all, but I would not be surprised if the Pistons force a Game 7, and then Orlando, if they have Franz Wagner back, they can actually upset the Pistons.
Before we move on, guys, I got to mention this. Thoughts on Jamal Cain's dunk over Jalen?
That was disgusting.
Wow, that was
disgusting.
Like, we're talking to a former Heater right here, man.
I wish production had that picture, not this one of Wendell Carter Jr.
That was nasty.
we saw some of those dunks not bodied like that when he was with not bodied like that when he was with Miami, but he's athletic.
Dude, straight up physical, destroyed chest, chest, bam, right there.
Destroyed him, and I feel like that's dunk of the year. I mean, it looks similar.
It's up there. He punished him.
It's up there with Anthony Black's dunking over 4 guys against Memphis.
Oh yeah, and coincidence, a Magic player as well.
Man, that was we had to talk about that briefly before we moved on.
No, of course. And I also was gonna mention a quick thing before we move on to the next topic. I feel it was gonna be about Jamal Cain. Yeah, Jamal Cain's dunk there literally looked like most of Anthony Edwards' poster dunks throughout his career. We can literally put him in one of those top 5 of Anthony Edwards, like in between the ones that he's ever had, or even like tied with the best one he's ever had, because he's had a lot of bodies on him. But that one from Jamal Cain, bro, he was running full court. He's
not even a ball handler.
Yeah, he's not even a ball handler. A lot of people would have thought that he was going to pass it to somebody wide open. He just went aggressive towards the paint, something similar that we see from Edwards. So, man, I got to give kudos to that. And Anthony at the same time. Since this series is gonna end this week, whatever happens, I'm giving credit to our creditors. They disappointed the regular season, but the Magic pull it off. Wow, wow! And Detroit's gonna be another victim of those type of teams that finished in number 1 seed and got upset. We saw it in 2023, Miami and the Bucks. We saw it in 2007 when the We Believe Warriors beat the Dallas Mavericks, and we've also seen it with Miami in the 1990s at the end of that decade when they lost to the Knicks in the first round rivalry, losing back-to-back series. I just needed to also mention that fact. We've seen it also when the Denver Nuggets upset the Sonics in 1994, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been a couple of series that we've witnessed. I mean, maybe you guys weren't born. I was a baby, and I saw a couple of them after that. But, just a big fact that I wanted to mention to the fans. And now there's a series that also I selected another team to win. And everybody would be agreeing with me since 2 of their stars are out. And now the scenario has changed. The Lakers started up with a 3-0 lead, but now Houston Rockets survive another game of the series after beating them on the road 99-93. I'm going to give it to Mr. Los Angeles, to the new Mr. Los Angeles. Apparently, he's been adopted even before he went to the city last week and has been spending time there. Nicholas Dupont. Can the Rockets become the first team to complete a 0-3 comeback in NBA playoff history? We almost saw it in 2023 between Boston and Miami in the Eastern Conference Finals. Can the Rockets, without Kevin Durant, taking that in consideration, do it? They're going back home. Game 7 is back where you are right now at the Crypto.com arena.
Well, listen, I already said it earlier in the intro. They're not going to 7. The Lakers are winning in 6. I'm sorry. And, I like that nickname, Mr. Los Angeles. I prefer Le Los Angeles, but it's okay. I prefer Mr. Los Angeles. But the Lakers, I'm really excited for the team. I'm trying to hold in my laughter right now because I'm trying to look at Raul's reaction, and it's fantastic to me. But listen, man, the Lakers have them where they want, I feel like. And, it's crazy to say, especially having a 3-0 lead and losing 2. But we're all forgetting the stat that we've all seen. LeBron has never lost being up 3-0. Ever. And LeBron right now, this entire series, has had moments of him turning back the clock, looking like 2018 LeBron, and he's being the field general, and he's controlling the game for what it is right now. I have the Lakers winning the next game. I have it going to 6. I have the Lakers winning in 6 because even with the KD in and out of the lineup, we've seen the Rockets take the game from them, but the Lakers are getting Austin Reeves back, man. And Austin Reeves is one of their premier scorers. And with Luke Kennard performing like the way he is, DeAndre Ayton's been serviceable for that team. LeBron has been the main anchor, the main guy leading that team. Give me the Lakers, man. I do not see the Rockets being the first team to come back from a 0-3 lead. That seems like a Miami Heat thing, to be honest.
Anthony?
Yeah, you guys are disgusted with me right now. I know you're disgusted with me. Oh, both of you. I hear the silence. It's just.
Raul, I'm not gonna lie. It pained me to hear Nick talk for the first time in a while, man. Oh my gosh.
You should have been in the last episode. I know you were busy with a lot of. I know you were busy with work. You had a lot of interviews to do. You had a lot of articles to write.
Yeah, I had a lot going on.
We respect that. So, hey, God's plan. If you would have been here in the last episode.
Yeah, but listen, guys, especially you, Nick. How many times is Luke Kennard gonna go for 20 points? Not many. Yeah. Okay, you got 2 good games out of him that were very random. He hasn't done that since. Austin Reeves just came back. Okay, so you have 2 ball dominant guys now who take away the ball from the rest of your role players. All right, bet. And DeAndre Ayton, do not get me started on this soft Charlemagne-ass center. We're talking about arguably the weakest-minded center in the entire league. And yet he's supposed to be dominated. Oh, my God.
He was the number 1 pick.
You are talking about a guy who had 17 rebounds and 18 points last game. I mean, even though they lost 99-93, he still had a little bit of service to him.
He actually lives up to his expectations for the first time in 3 years.
And they still lost.
Oh, my gosh. Listen, LeBron's going to do his thing. 1,000%. Never going to say nothing about that. He's going to do his thing. But if you're going to rely on Austin Reeves coming back, Luke Kennard exploding for another 25-ish points, and DeAndre Ayton looking serviceable, you might as well pack it up right there, and you might as well prepare for a Game 7. Listen, the Houston Rockets, they're playing with an edge. They got nothing to lose right here. They got nothing to lose. And they know KD's out. They're not waiting on him. They're not waiting on KD. Listen, they got enough talent to pull something off. I believe in them. I believe in them most of the season, and I'm going to stick by it. And by the way, I'm going to say Tari Eason right here is going to go off for a good 20-ish. I'm going to say that right now. Maybe he does. Because if we're expecting Luke Kennard to go for 20, why not get Tari Eason in the party? So I got the Houston Rockets being the first team to pull this off. And respectfully, Nick, up until, 2021, LeBron never got knocked out in the first round until that time against the Suns. So anything is possible when you play 20 years in the league. Anything's possible.
You're definitely not wrong. Anything can happen, and anything is possible 20 years in the league. But again, we haven't seen a guy play at this level, being this old in the league, and still having the
1,000%.
IQ and the way. It's the way he plays the game, and I'm not even trying to glaze him at this point. But for being his age and the way that he dictates the game, and he doesn't have to be the guy to always score the ball. It's very different to see. It's very I don't want to say Magic Johnson-esque, but it's very different to see from LeBron. He's always been a pass first player, excuse me. But we've always known him to have like the elite scoring nights of having 25 plus points per game. Where maybe now he can't do that as consistently, but he can still get you 20 plus points per game with a solid 8 rebounds and 8 assists with a couple blocks and a steal or two. You know,
Nick, no, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
No, here, go.
I can trust LeBron to come through, or at least get his numbers. I can trust that. What I don't trust defensively is Austin Reeves returning. I do not trust that. He'll get hunted. He will get hunted down defensively, especially coming back from an
2 points. Points was not that bad last game.
He'll score, but he'll also give up a good 25. So that's the thing is now you add him to the mix. To me it hurts your defense more because he cannot guard. Most of your players on that roster cannot guard. And don't get me started on Jared Vanderbilt. He's a pain in the behind, in my opinion, defensively, even though he tries to act tough.
Especially for JJ Redick. We've seen them.
Exactly. So for me, there's too many holes defensively that could really hurt the Lakers at this moment, especially going back to Houston. Again, they're not waiting on KD. They understand, hey, we might go into a game 7 without KD, and that's fine. Let's just win it game by game. And they have a lot of young guys who are stepping up. This is the point where Ime Udoka, we're talking about coaching. Ime Udoka is a great coach himself as well, defensive-minded, a guy who does not back down to anybody. So, if anything, he's putting these guys in a great position to develop at this stage in their young careers to step up and maybe pull off the impossible. I'm going to say they're going to pull it off.
Well, I like that take, but, something that you fail to realize is that, and I'm sorry for phrasing it like that, but you do fail to realize is that the Lakers haven't exactly had the greatest defense all season. They've had probably one of the worst defenses that we've seen. Their whole mantra all year has been outscoring their opponent and just having better offense than the other team, even with LeBron putting up 19 a game if he really needed to, because you have Luka and Austin Reeves. Now we're in a scenario in which Luka and Austin Reeves is back, but we've seen the scenario in which Luka and Austin Reeves has not come back, but we've still seen that same mantra that the Lakers have where they could still score 120 plus points on you. We've seen them shoot the ball lights out because at the end of the day, we've always said it. LeBron needs shooters if he's going to succeed. And he does succeed when he has shooters on his team. When the Lakers shoot under 27% from the field, they're going to lose the game. It's that simple. But their 3-point numbers and their 3-point shooters, once they get going, they cannot lose because they're going to be on fire and they will not miss. And I guarantee that.
You had 2 fluky games from Luke Kennard. I doubt he'll ever have that same impact.
Then what happened that third game when they won?
Still fluky.
Okay.
Still fluky.
It was an overtime game also.
Just remember,
it could go both ways.
Listen, just remember.
It went in favor for the Lakers. It went in favor for the Lakers. Could have been for the Rockets.
Nick, go ahead.
You may call me a bandwagon because you both have been looking at me like with a disgusting face this entire session, especially you guys know how I feel about this team and how it is like the NBA version of the Dallas Cowboys. But wasn't I the one who said that this team was going to win it without Austin Reeves and Luka and has still stuck with them to this moment? I mean, and look at the series right now. Yes, they lost the last 2 games, but I still feel like they're in great shape.
In our last episode, we talked about this. We talked about how surprising the Lakers defense has been since it's been one of the worst in the league, and they've been criticized over and over again. They've only depended on their offense, on Luka, LeBron, Reeves. We also talked about how that trio basically can perform, collectively on the court. When all 3 are there, they lose. When one of those 3 are out, they win. It could be Reeves and LeBron together. It could be Reeves and Doncic together. It could be Reeves and LeBron. Literally, they couldn't flew it together when people saw them as like a big 3 in Los Angeles. We've seen like the relationship with JJ Redick, basically trying to push DeAndre Ayton, having his altercation with Rui Hashimura, with Jared Vanderbilt. There has been so many flaws in this team. I get it. Offensively, they can have those moments when they can score over 20 points, but then they can have those games that all of a sudden they're shooting below 20% from the three-point line, 30-something percent in general. And one thing you talked about DeAndre Ayton, I like that you mentioned him because when he scores single-digit points, like 2 or 6, like we witnessed in 2 different games, they win.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, when he goes double-double, like, wow, 18-17, 19-10, 19-11, they end up losing, except for game 1. That's the only one that they actually pull off the victory. And now, the Luke Kennard situation, he had 2 impactful games. I said that was one of the biggest factors. Role players like him and Marcus Smart helping out LeBron James. LeBron, when he needed to have an impactful game, he delivered. And then game 3, I got to say, like, between LeBron and his son, they went in, it was not a 10 run, but they scored 10 straight points from the team. You saw these Los Angeles Lakers completely different from what we witnessed in the regular season. So that's why they've actually been one of the most surprising, especially without Reeves and Doncic. Now, those 3 wins have mostly been because of their defense. I also alluded to game 2, how they forced Kevin Durant to have 9 turnovers. Hey, give credit to what creditors do. And so, Anthony, I understand what you're saying because I went against Nick completely last episode saying that could they survive without Reeves and Doncic the rest of the series? I said, hell no. And what they do once they felt the pressure? They lost game 4. They bring Reeves, 22 points off the bench, and they still lost. DeAndre Ayton, big double-double, they still lost. LeBron James did his thing, 25 points, 7 assists, still lost that game. And so I feel like the Rockets can force a game 7, but with what Nick has said, LeBron James 32-0 when leading 2-0 in any series of his career. I mean, I don't see this one, especially without Kevin Durant being his first career loss when leading a series 2-0. But I do see Rockets forcing a game 7, but then the Lakers, unless Kevin Durant comes back. Look at Nick. Look at Nick. What he did. unless Kevin Durant returns, I would side with you, Anthony. The Rockets could actually make history as the first team to come back 0-3 and win it. But sadly, without Kevin Durant, I don't know how much Alperen Sengun, Amen Thompson, Tari Eason, and Reece Shepard can basically carry the load of that team. Because right now, they are weak at the bench.
I'm actually, like, respectfully, just real quick, I get pissed off watching Sengun play sometimes. Just go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with that. Alperen Sengun has had moments that he's basically disappeared. I mean, we witnessed that also in the first round against OKC last postseason.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mostly Jalen Green. That's why they traded. That's why they traded him. But you also saw Alperen Sengun all of a sudden not playing at his potential level, being first time of his career an all-star. And so we have witnessed it here against the Los Angeles Lakers. So that's exactly, Anthony, good point. What worries me, what type of Alperen Sengun, Amen Thompson, Reed Shepard, Jabari Smith are we going to get? Because the ones that we got the last game, all of them scored double-digit points. But then you see the bench, 18 out of the 99 points. That's not going to cut it if they're trying to make that comeback, especially without Kevin Durant. But do they have momentum at their home court? Do the Los Angeles Lakers are feeling the pressure? Hell yes, because LeBron, being 32-0 throughout his career with the Heat, the Cavaliers, and the Lakers, doesn't want to become the first player and team to blow an 0-3 deficit. And him having that amazing record when he's up 2-0, all of a sudden losing a series, that would actually Nicholas stain his GOAT status.
Well,
even if he's not to blame. Because he won't be to blame. In my opinion, he's not going to be to blame. At his age, what he's doing is phenomenal. But you already know, who are they going to talk about? Are they going to talk about Marcus Smart? Are they going to talk about Luke Kennard disappearing? Are they going to talk about...
This goes back to LeBron James.
This goes back to LeBron James. So that's why I feel Game 6, Rockets are going to defend their home court. Game 7, Lakers finish the series.
Let's be real about that bench. I'm pretty sure even Ime Udoka understands that they don't have a scorer off their bench, even though it's supposed to be Reed Shepherd.
Exactly.
But they understand, listen, we don't have any scorers on our bench. Let's just play great defense as long as we can with these guys, survive their small minutes because it's a tight rotation. I'm pretty sure it's like at least 7 or 8 guys playing, or even just 7.
Yeah.
But they're real about that. They know they have no scorers off that bench. It's just straight up defense, guard as best as you can, and we'll make the most of it. And then the starters have to score. That is definitely the way they're trying to win this series. And listen, they can. I'm just saying.
I mean, I would agree with you, Anthony, if Durant will be available. I'm not talking about Game 6 because, like I'm alluding to,
he's already
the Rockets. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Game 6, I still have the Rockets without him winning it. But if he's back for Game 7, then me and Nick are gonna be like, no,
I'm still sticking with it, even if they go to Game 7 with Durant. I kind of have to. I fully committed to this when we started the playoffs, so I'm just doing it now.
That's for the fan base. If Durant is not available for the rest of the series, there's gonna be a Game 7, but the Lakers will win it. Now, if Durant comes, I'll see you guys in the next episode.
All right. Wait, before we go, I do have a quick message for our viewers once again. Metropol Restaurant, everybody, come on. All right, Raul and I are still down here in Miami. Nick is out there in the West Coast. He's missing out on all the fun over here at Metropol Restaurant in Miami, having amazing traditional dishes such as stuffed chicken.
Man, Anthony.
I'm the only one now. Yes,
Anthony.
Mama said.
Bobby Boucher.
Way more stuff. Oh my God, this is the first time I choked.
Mamposteao
in Dolphin Mall. Check it out. Sorry, guys.
I think Anthony is now gonna lose his mojo in our next topic.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna cook still. I'm still gonna cook. Like Metropol Restaurant. We cooking up in here.
Okay. All right, I see it.
You see, we bounced back, boys. Come on.
There you go.
All right, flicking that wrist. All right, so let's get it. Our last topic is what we saw last weekend, NFL Draft 2026, which we were all anticipating. We're evaluating the top 10 picks. But like Anthony, when we were talking before the show in production meeting, every time we see NFL analysts, sports analysts, us in any different radio stations, shows, channels, and podcasts, we do our research, we do our homework. But the NFL draft, in my opinion, is like the March Madness. It's like the FIFA World Cup. Aside from the top 5 picks, and even with the top 5, it's unpredictable. It's interesting. It's surprising because you are actually trying to basically evaluate what the team needs urgently, what they need now, what they need the most, and all of a sudden they take a curve in a different direction. And you're like, what happened here? It always happens. Every single year, it's something surprising. Even the fans predict what they're probably going to get, and all of a sudden, either they like it or not, they're all of a sudden shocked. Like, what happened here? I thought we needed an edge rusher. I thought we needed a safety, a cornerback. I thought we needed an O-lineman. I thought we needed wide receiver, running back, tight end, quarterback. Hey, you mentioned that. You're taking a shot on that. I'm talking about in general with a lot of teams. And I'm gonna give my point on that. But Anthony, I'm gonna give you the first word of this topic. The NFL draft concluded on Saturday as some prospects look to make an immediate impact. Who are the real winners of this past draft?
Well, this is the team that I got to give credit to you. You raved about them first. I just took it a step further on them. Give me the Giants.
Woo!
Give me the New York Giants on this one.
Oh,
Listen,
man.
when you got two top 10 picks in a class that okay, first of all, you have your quarterback, so you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of offensive talent compared to defensive talent. But you still met your needs with a pretty good two top 10 picks. Arvell Reese, there were so many mock drafts that had him going to the Jets.
Definitely.
Or going top 5. The fact that he slipped and going straight to the Giants, what just happened here? Okay, I guess I'm moving forward. But the fact that he went to the Giants, I think is going to be a great fit for their defense. And again, they needed help there, so I think it's going to be a great addition, whether as an edge or linebacker, whichever you want to put him at. And then the big guy in the middle, Francis Mawanoa.
That was a big pick.
Arguably the best offensive lineman in this class.
Yep.
The fact that he fell to 10, I felt a little disturbed that because I'm like, come on, he is way better than Spencer, respectfully. He's going to be so great, whether it's at guard, tackle, even center. This guy, when you go to the U in today Mario Cristobal's era, and you're an offensive lineman, you're working in every position, no matter what. So I have full faith in Mawanoa's versatility. Anywhere at the line of scrimmage, he's going to do great protecting Jackson Dart. They needed to upgrade the offensive line. They were top 10 last year in terms of sacks allowed, so they needed to get help there, and they arguably got the best one. Come on, I'm pretty sure that they banked on those two picks.
That was a good one. Nicholas, Dupont.
Oh, sorry that I went off for a second to the other side of the locker room. It's every time with you guys and the Giants. Like it's funny, but you know what's even more funny? I'm actually going to be staying in New York.
You know what's not fun? You know what's not funny? John Harbaugh. He's not funny.
Oh, he's not funny. He a dog.
He's not a funny guy.
He knows what he's one.
He just got 2 dogs in this draft.
The Giants have one in free agency and one of the winners here in the NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're already making great steps, but let me take a step even further. And when I say a step even further, let me step on the other side of that locker room of that building, and let me talk about the New York Jets. I know this is a very surprising topic. A Dolphins fan talking about the Jets. But when I went back and did my research and I actually looked at all these guys, I actually really liked their draft. I thought it was a very surprising draft, and I also didn't really want to talk about the Chiefs or some other teams because, I, as a Dolphins fan, I shouldn't give the Jets praise, but as a sports analyst, I kind of have to because I thought they had a really good draft. With your first 3 picks in the first round, getting David Bailey, Kenyon Sadiq, and Omar Cooper, I really feel like it sets the tone for what the Jets are trying to do. And, they have a pretty solid offensive line already. Maybe not the greatest, but it's solid. It can get you through a season. And then
they have continuity there.
But they completely replaced their 2 biggest holes in which they got rid of their 2 best players last season in Quentin Williams and in Sauce Gardner. And instead, they got David Bailey with the 2nd pick. And towards the 2nd round, they ended up getting D'Angelo Pons out of Indiana. A lot of scouts are kind of whatever on Pons. I really like him. He's a great slot corner. I think he'll do great in their system, and especially playing with David Bailey, who's going to be providing a lot of pressure off the edge. I think that's fantastic as a whole. And then when you add players like Kenyon Sadiq in the first round and Omar Cooper also.
That's a good tight end. Yeah.
I think you added the weapons for Geno Smith. And not only did they do that, we'll just add weapons for Geno Smith. Who knows? Maybe you have a future with a young prospect in Cade Klubnik at quarterback out of Clemson, where we've seen Cade Klubnik have big moments with great players. So who knows? Maybe Geno Smith can mentor him a little bit, shape him up. Maybe nothing. He can't be. I don't think he's going to be anything big, Cade Klubnik. But who knows? Maybe he could step up, be a starter for a little bit for a couple seasons. Maybe that's their guy. I don't think it is personally, but who knows what happens this season? I don't think the Jets are going to be very good. But who knows? Maybe you just got a development guy that you can move forward with. And then adding Inez Cooper, the 6th round out of Miami, I thought that was a nice pickup there. You get interior line depth. He's a power guard candidate. I think he's a great fit for that system. When you have guys like Elijah Vera Tucker that were formerly there, he couldn't stay on the field because of injuries. But whenever he did play, he was a fantastic guard. And yeah, having VJ Payne out of Kansas State, I thought that was a pretty good pickup. He's a late safety. He's great late safety value. He's just more of a special teamer guy, but I think he can make a great impact for that team. And the Jets as a whole, for what they are right now and where they sit at with being a very just bottom feeding team for the past like over a decade now, I think this is a very good start for what they're trying to build.
Nick, but they still don't have a quarterback.
Well, again,
Geno Smith,
well,
we're really
no,
gonna do this?
Well,
neither
this class
do a lot
doesn't
of
have that
teams.
much elite talent.
Well, neither do a lot of these
Oh,
teams that are
man.
going into the next season, And I'm not saying that they're going to have a great season, I'm just saying that I thought they did pretty well in this draft. Just because your team doesn't have a quarterback doesn't mean that you're setting up not to get a quarterback for the future. Like the Jets right now, they're probably working on what they can get with Geno Smith, what their record's going to be like, where they're going to be projected as, while they're going to wait for next year to get some more quarterbacks to come in more that they feel more comfortable with drafting. Cade Klubnik, I feel like, was just more of like a depth pick for them. Again, we've seen his talent at Clemson, where he could be one of the best players in the league at quarterback, and then we've just seen his fall off entirely, and we don't understand why. But he has great NFL speed. I think he could do something for them. If the Jets really struggle, I think he's going to be starting towards maybe halfway through the season, maybe a little bit further than that. But yeah, the Jets haven't exactly had the greatest offseason. Yeah, they got Minkah Fitzpatrick from the Dolphins, but as a draft, I think they did pretty well.
Yeah, also Raul, there's gonna be way more quarterback talent in next year's draft. I mean, you're talking, of course, Arch Manning. You're talking DJ Moore. You're talking Darian Mensah potentially emerging as a first rounder.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no urgency for that in this year's class, like Nick and I did in our separate episode of Nick's scouting room. There's gonna be way more for next year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you just said that, Anthony. Right now, Jets fans are gonna hate both of you. Because, bro, they've been waiting for generations and decades. They're not looking for next season. They want it now.
Yeah,
How long are they going to wait?
Yeah, so did the Dolphins, but we haven't gotten that in a while. So,
bro, I even know why I'm screaming, because I've been under the weather. I'm just surprised because, like, what you just said, Anthony, what do you mean? The Jets fans are not waiting. They want now. I know,
if they wanted to waste a pick on a quarterback in this year's draft, then they would have been even further in failure than they are today.
Obviously, that was not going to be their pick. We get it. This is not the best draft class. But at the same time, they didn't have the number one pick. If they had the number one pick, then they could have actually drafted Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, that's acceptable. Yes.
And good point. Next draft class is going to be more interesting. We can see like top 5 first rounders. I'm not saying top 10, but top 5 first rounders. Like maybe the best draft class since 2021. Yeah. Now, Anthony, I agree with the Giants. And because I want to rub it in Nick's face. The Giants are cooking. The Giants are cooking. I like what they're doing.
They're cooking.
They're cooking. I like what they're doing. But now, guys, this has also been a franchise that hasn't gone to the Super Bowl since they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I wish they could have won it. They have one of the best wide receivers that we've ever seen. And that is the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals had so many good picks. I mean, Jeremiah Love was like, wow. Him and James Conner together, wow. That's basically going to be like an interesting duel like we saw with the Detroit Lions. They also got a good guard from Texas A&M. His name is Chase Bisontes, if I'm not mistaken. They just drafted Carson Beck, which is very interesting because now, like, obviously, a lot of people don't have Jacoby Brissett taking them to like a high level. We've never seen Brissett do that in his whole career. He's always been a backup quarterback. That's been always basically his main job position. And so seeing what the Cardinals have, they're actually not building a team around a quarterback or even a running back. They're building a team around Marvin Harrison Jr. You got to get this guy the right quarterback since Kyler Murray departed. And so also that the team has a lot of offensive weapons, like I just mentioned. They just got Kendrick Bourne, good wide receiver. From the defensive side, they still got to do a better job. But with Mike LaFleur, who is Mike LaFleur? Matt LaFleur's brother. That's their new head coach. Mostly been a offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, offensive wide receivers coach, offensive intern, offensive assistant, offensive coordinator for the Jets, which actually that season was not like one of the worst, even though they didn't have the right pieces. Then he was offensive coordinator for the Rams. The Rams was a team that should have gone to the damn Super Bowl. this season. And so when you got a guy that finally has the opportunity to basically show his offensive talent, even though they are still getting the pieces together, and now we're going to see the outcome and quarterback challenges, what would they have with their veterans, and now their rookie Carson Beck, which actually Carson Beck being in a good situation with Georgia, and then what they basically surrounded him in Miami. I feel like this could have been right now one of the best situations he's being landed on. And when the coach, when the first time head coach, Mike LaFleur, now taking control of the team, I just see so many positive directions from the Arizona Cardinals, completely rebuilt and making it as quick as possible. Because at the end of the day, just like the Las Vegas Raiders with Fernando Mendoza and all the players that they have acquired during free agency, they're setting him up basically for a good start. Something that we never saw from the Chicago Bears doing to their first-time quarterbacks other than Caleb Williams. Because Caleb Williams was being set up for having success. In his second year, he reinvented himself. I feel like that's the same thing the Raiders are doing for Fernando Mendoza, especially having Tom Brady as a co-owner. He knows what he's doing with his team. And now, with the moves that the Cardinals are right now creating in the division that they are with the Rams, the Seahawks, the 49ers, it's similar with the Raiders. The Raiders are with the Broncos, the Chargers, the Chiefs. Those two teams, Raiders and Cardinals, are still not even on top three. They're still the bottom four. But right now, what we can see from both of them in the nearest future, I feel like they're cooking something. They're heading towards a good direction. So for me, there was and they had a lot of good selections, both offensive and defensive side.
Let's not forget what Carson did last time he was in Arizona. College football playoffs against Ole Miss. Let's not forget. I'm just saying, let's not forget what he did.
Clutch moment. That's a good point, Anthony. Nick, you want to say something about that?
I mean, I like the Carson Beck pick a lot. I mean, I could go on and on about Carson Beck and Jeremiah Love, so I'm only going to pick one, and I'll talk about Carson Beck.
I forgot the wide receiver from Texas Tech, Reggie Virgil.
Yes, but Jeremiah Love and Carson Beck, they're going to make very big impacts, and I don't know about Carson Beck immediately, but Jeremiah Love, 1,000%. Having a dynamic back like him and then James Conner to come in as your power back, I feel like it's going to be a great combination for them. They still need to work on their offensive line, but now they're just adding weapons. With Michael Wilson, Kendrick Bourne, Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, Jeremiah Love, James Conner, I feel like you got a lot of weapons already around you.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be enough because we've seen Marvin Harrison throughout the past, 2 years now be very up and down. We've seen him be great at times, but at the same time, we've seen him be very inconsistent. I think that's because of quarterback play personally. I think it's going to be a very decent year for him considering that he has 3 very average quarterbacks on his team. And I'm hesitant for putting Carson Beck there right now since he hasn't even played a snap. But with Gardner Minshew and Jacoby Brissett, you already have 2 average quarterbacks there. 2 guys that you know what they are. They're bridge quarterbacks. They're not going to take them anywhere. They're not going to take them to the promised land. But who knows? Maybe Carson Beck can do something because a lot of the scouts love him for the fact that he is very smart. He is a very smart guy, and he knows what to do in certain situations. And we've seen it for years now with him at Georgia and now in Miami. So I really like the move by the Cardinals. I could see Carson Beck starting around halfway through the season, maybe earlier, honestly, if they're really high on him and they like him in training camp.
I think he starts right away.
I could see that. But I don't think the team would do that.
They're going to rely on their assistant
quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I just think because even though he's older for an average rookie, he's ready right away, and he has more potential compared to what you already have right now. So I just think, why not write it out? Even though he might not be your franchise guy, why not just write it out for a season?
Yeah, you never know. With him, you never know.
Exactly.
And I feel like, all right, so a lot of people are going to criticize Mike LaFleur for the New York Jets season 2021-2022. Who was their starting quarterback? Zach freaking Wilson. And they had to replace him with Joe Flacco. They didn't have the right pieces. That's the only one. But when you saw him as an offensive assistant with the Falcons, with the 49ers, with the recent Rams, the Rams in the past few years have been the best offensive team, and they could have made it to the Super Bowl. They should have, in my opinion, made it to the Super Bowl over the Seattle Seahawks. And so most of his resume is positive. And now him having the opportunity to be a head coach, we already seen what his brother has done when they gave him the head coaching job with the Green Bay Packers. I feel, and actually Matt LaFleur got it better because he had Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. He had Devontae Adams. And he had a couple of other weapons like Alan Lazard and good running game. In this case, they're building that little by little with Arizona. And so I'm just saying that we're not expecting them to jump in now into a playoff mixture. And same goes with the Raiders. But they're heading towards a good direction, a good future that they can, in their hardest division, both in the West, different conference, basically be in the top two in the not nearest moment, but eventually.
I just think Carson landed in the best position in terms of where he could have gotten anywhere else. And I think that's part of the reason why he'll start right away.
And Nick, you said about the old lineman, that is completely true. That's why Kyler Murray was getting crushed, killed. Yep. He had to run for his life. So they still have to do a better job on that. Bisontis. Yeah. If it was not because of that offensive guard was available, they probably were going to draft Carson Beck ahead of him. But since he was available, it's like, all right, we first got to protect our quarterback. So we definitely got to acquire him. If Beck is still in the mixture, then we can select him.
But that's just another reason why I don't feel like Beck's going to start, because of how weak their offensive line is.
Yeah, of course.
I think for the first 3-4 weeks, they really want to test their guys to see who they really are and what they're going to perform. So once they get comfortable with that, then I feel like they're going to let Carson play, even if they start playing terrible, the offensive line. But I think they're going to want to be in a comfortable state before they just throw some rookie out there. I don't want to say just some rookie, but they throw a rookie out there rather than you have your veteran guys that know the system, know what to do in those situations when he's getting blitzed off the edge, and just quarterbacks with more sense than what a rookie would normally bring to the table, which is 0 sense and 0 pocket awareness. So I'm not saying Carson Beck doesn't have that, but we have seen times where he gets blitzed and just gets absolutely destroyed.
I agree with that, Anthony. I literally wanted to take the Giants. You beat me towards it. But then I started evaluating the Cardinals. That was my second.
Yeah, I mean, they had a great draft, too. I mean, you take arguably the best player in the class. So, and Jeremiah Love, of course, I'm saying.
And now, Nick, I like the pieces that the Jets, the pieces that they drafted, it was it was a needed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, is the quarterback situation the only thing that obviously it seems like not that they're going to tank, but they're not going to be competing offensively as defensively. I mean, defensively they regress because they were always on the field.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the same circumstance for the Jets again this year. This is really a building block year for them again, where yes, you have Garrett Wilson. He's been frustrated every single year so far with the Jets, but this is really for them to kind of set up their weapons for the next season to come. You still have Breece Hall on the team. You still have Garrett Wilson. Your offense is looking fine with those two pieces already. Now that you end Kenny and Sadiq and Omar Cooper. Is it Omar Cooper? I already forgot his name.
Yeah, Omar Cooper. Yes.
Yeah, Omar Cooper. Sorry. Well, with Omar Cooper, I think what they're going to do is just plan for the future, and they acknowledge that this isn't the greatest quarterback class, so they're like, screw it, let's just take someone that we've seen have talent in this and see produce in this college football league. Just have him sit on the bench, learn from Geno. If anything, if he develops, great. If he doesn't, it is what it is. We'll move on to the next year. But Jets fans have been through this year after year after year. It's the same thing with the Dolphins. The Dolphins and Jets can never find great quarterbacks, and
year after year.
After year.
Decades and generations since Namath.
Yeah, but unfortunately, these things take time, and it's more than just a quarterback with them. I think they're really trying to bolster up their weapons and their units and their lines before they do anything else. I do think what they got from this draft is going to help that for their future. I don't want to say they had the best offseason, but I definitely want to say they are one of the big winners of this draft.
Also, guys like Beck and Dubnik, guys that were taken later, not Fernando and Ty Simpson, but which funny enough, he went in first round. That was insane. But those two later picks are more so low risk, high reward situations.
I mean, Anthony, Nick actually in the last episode predicted that. Because I'm the one that asked him, why is there so many hype with Ty Simpson? Why are they actually not comparing, but saying that he could play at that level as Fernando Mendoza? And a lot of analysts said that he could have even been drafted over Fernando Mendoza. And then Nick gave a couple of interesting points, which were facts on facts. And he said that he's gonna be landed in the first round. And for him to land in the Rams wow, he's blessed. He cannot
Yeah.
be even more blessed because remember, guys, Matthew Stafford, is a face of the franchise, but for how long? Like his time is clicking, and what a coach for Sean McVay to develop a guy like Ty Simpson. If all the hype that they've been talking about is real,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. I don't see that. I don't see a person. I did say it last episode that he was going to be drafted in the first round due to quarterback urgency. I did not expect the Rams to reach this far for him. To be honest, I thought they would go for more of a different positional player. They don't need corner. They're great on corner. They're great on defensive back in general. I do think they could have used something more on the offensive line range. Couldn't Ruben Bain have been picked up by the Rams, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah,
They could have. Ruben?
Yeah, couldn't Ruben?
Yeah, they could have got Ruben.
Yeah, I think Ruben Bain would have been a great fit for them, especially in that pick. Yes, they already have their guys, but just adding another guy like Ruben Bain would have been great for their defense.
That's actually an interesting thought. He could have been. I'm not comparing that level, but let's just say the real new replacement for Aaron Donald.
Yeah, it could be. It could have been. It could have been, but they're taking more of the J.J. McCarthy approach, where they're really high on this guy. They really like him. They have the MVP of the league already sitting here, so maybe we can get 1 or 2 more seasons out of him. Develop Ty Simpson. If Stafford goes down, we can see what he's got for a couple games. But it's really all it's going to be for Ty Simpson. Just another project player for maybe a season or 2, and then he'll finally get his chance to start.
I know we got to end it in a few, but Tampa was a close second winner. I mean, when you get a guy like Ruben to fall that far for a defensive-minded head coach, he's going to be so amazing.
You literally read my mind, Anthony, because you said Tampa was another winner, and I agree. I actually was going to say Ruben Bain Jr. was a real winner of the whole draft class. He literally said, "Wow, I'm not staying in Miami, but I'm staying in Florida and in a better circumstance." A better organization, in a better situation, where actually in the NFC, I actually have better percentage of making it to the Super Bowl than the Dolphins. Sorry, Nick.
That's okay.
He's going to dominate. He's going to dominate. I don't care what any of these short
arm. I like that pick from Tampa.
These short arm conversations. Oh my gosh! Every organization that passed on him from like 10 to 14, they're gonna die.
Also, guys, I know we gotta end it. Nick, before I give it to you, can have the last word. Me also evaluating the Cowboys, Caleb Downs, safety from Ohio State.
Yeah, they had a great
and also Malaki Lawrence, edge rusher from UCF. That's exactly what they needed last season from their defensive line.
That's a prototype right there. He really balled out in UCF, man.
But it's still gonna be America's team, so
I mean, staying in that same division. Well,
it's coming. It's coming. They're going to be all the way up and then crash down all the way as hard as possible.
I mean, with the Cowboys getting an edge rusher and Malachi Lawrence next thing now Quinnen Williams, it's really going to help them. And now you have Caleb Downs in the backfield replacing Trayvon Diggs, who has really never been that great in my opinion. Yeah, he's had his moments, but he's never really been that superstar corner. One season. He was a zone corner though. But I feel like just for one more team before we end the show. The Washington Commanders, I also feel like they had a pretty underrated draft. Getting Sony Styles for at pick 7, I feel like was incredible for them. That was just a pick I did not see coming from them. I think him it's really going to do wonders because that guy means business. Also, they didn't have a second round pick, but getting Antonio Williams out of Clemson, just another receiver just for more depth. He's really polished. He's a rotational receiver, yes, but he has amazing slot value for what he provides to the table. And then, just bolstering up the edge with Joshua Joseph, Katron Allen in the running back room. I think the Washington Commanders, they're trying to build something. I don't know if it's going to be built this year. I definitely think they need another draft before they can 100% commit to what they're trying to do with Jaden Daniels. But I really like the moves that they're making for their future as well.
I agree. And most of the teams that we mentioned, NFC East, Commanders, Giants, Cowboys.
Stay in New York as well. The Jets.
Apart from the Jets and the Cardinals that you and me chose, Nick. Mostly of the ones aside from the Giants that Anthony said were the real winners. We also selected 2 other teams, Cowboys and Commanders, being in the same division. So the Eagles, they should look out.
Markel Bell.
Who?
Oh, come on.
End the show before he gets going.
That's how we end our new episode of Section 305, the Sports Show. Thank you very much,
Michael,
Anthony. Thank you very much, Anthony. I'm Raul Pagan with my colleagues, Anthony Aguirre and Nick Dupont. Let's see the outcome of both series that we talked about. And also talk about what's happening in the NHL playoffs. Probably in our next episode. We got lots to talk about of what's happening and transpiring right now in North American sports. We'll see you guys next time.
Mark about.